When you are working with ArcMap or any project, any GIS project actually, you always want to ensure that all your data are in the same projection, same datum, the same planar projection, because if you don't do that, you will introduce errors in your analyses. The easiest way to see if all your data, my layers here in this example, are boreholes, railway, road, geology, and land use, if they're all in the same projection in ArcMap, I will double-click Layers, and it will tell me under the Coordinate System tab. Your view might not have this as the default. It might be on Feature Cache. Doesn't matter. You just click on Coordinate System, and it will tell you under the Layers option what coordinate systems you actually have in your map. At the moment, WGS84 is for the boreholes and the railway. Then I have a holiday resort projection, which is used for geology. If I look at it, the specifics, it tells me that it is a translocator, so it actually is in meters. So that's what the unit is there. It's not a latitude and longitude. It's no longer a geographic coordinate system. It's now a planar coordinate system, so 2D. Then I have a translocator for roads. Again, if I look at the properties, it tells me central meridian is 27. And here we have the datum of WS84. And it is actually the same as the holiday resort one. So the holiday resort and the translocator are the same type of planar projection. Then I have an unknown one, which is the land use one. And we will need a little bit more information to try to fix that one. But the point is to try to get everything into the same projection. Now the translocator and the holiday resort are both in WGS84 ready, as you can see here. Look at the translocator as well, WGS84. So these two are the planar projections or 2D versions of the datum that is used for railway and boreholes. So there's not too much of an issue here actually. The only thing is that if you want to make measurements, for example, distances from a certain point for railways and boreholes, you'd have to actually put them into a planar projection, a 2D one, which would require a meter conversion, so it would either have to be holiday resort or translocator. But how do we fix this? Now, these should be the same names. This one should be assigned a projection, and we want these to be reprojected into the planar coordinate system of either one of these, holiday resort or translocator. So now that you know what is going on, let's go to the catalog. And I know that my land use doesn't have a coordinate system. It was called use before. If you want to make sure that you know which one you're talking about, you right-click in the table of contents, say properties, go to source, and it tells you that it's actually called use.shp. So it's that one. You can right-click it, say properties, and you know that it doesn't have a coordinate system. Now you can just assign one, but that's not how it should be done. First, you have to do a little bit of investigation. Right-click the file in your table of content, say properties. Okay, see this information here, top, bottom, right, left. These values mean that even though the coordinate system is not known, it's in latitude and longitude. Why do I know that? Because it says it extends from left 27 degrees to right 28 degrees. So because the right is higher than the left, it must be east of Greenwich. So the longitude must be 27 degrees east to 28 degrees east because the right-hand side is increasing from the left-hand side. If you look at 25.0 and 25.5 or 6, if you round, it's increasing towards the bottom. And if you have a coordinate system, a Cartesian plane, let's say now you've got your y-axis here from the top to the bottom like that, and your x-axis here from left to right. In a Cartesian plane, you'll have above x and to the right of y, so plus plus. And then you have below x and to the right of y. So it will be plus negative. And that is why you'll have a negative here. So we know that South Africa actually has a negative value for latitude. We know that This looks like it should belong in South Africa. It's also in latitude and longitude. And because all the other data are in WGS84 and the land use, if I switch it off, seems to draw in the same extent, it looks like WGS84 is a good bet. So how do you do that? There's two ways. You can right click and say properties and simply assign and say okay. I won't do that now. Or you can go to your toolbox. You go to your data management tools. That's how your toolbox will look. Data management tools. You'll go to projections and transformations. You're going to define a projection. You're going to do it for land use. Unknown system, that's fine. We think it's WGS84, so we'll just assign it for now. Say OK. And you let it run. As you can see here, it's running. You right click when it's finished running, say properties. Wait for the properties to open, and there we are, WGS84. You can also double click the layers and see what you have in your layers, and you can see that that unknown has fallen away. So now we have 3 in WGS84 and then these two which are actually the same. Very simple to fix that. You go to your catalog. We know that it's the geology and the road, so we can call, let's say it's called the road the same as the geology. If you're not sure what the actual source file is called, just right click again. Road projected. Right. It's called Transits Mercator. So road projected. So we go to the file, right click it, say properties. Now we're not going to define one, we're just going to assign a different one. We're going to assign the one from geology, holiday resort. Say OK. And that'll be it. If you want to check if it worked, double click your layers, have a look at your layers, and there we are. So these two are in the projected coordinate system, which is called holiday resort. Here we have a datum or geographic coordinate system, which is WGS 1984. So you're now almost done creating the same type of projection for all your layers. What you have to do now is you have to take these three and you have to convert them into this projection. You do that using tools in your Arc Toolbox. So you go to Arc Toolbox, Projections and Transformations. You're going to do a batch project because you're doing more than one. You are going to be using railway and the boreholes and the land use, which we know we're in WGS84. We're going to create a workspace for them. This is just the root folder that it will be stored in, so you don't have to double click inside the folder. Just click once until it's highlighted on the folder. The output coordinate system is going to be the one of your layers that you want to use, which will be the holiday resort. And you just say, okay, your tool will run. Once it's completed, it will notify you. And theoretically, everything should be there in the right format. Now, if you double click your layers again, you won't actually see the results. You actually have to add the data. So you go to your Add Data button, Practical Data, and we're going to go to this one because you know that's the projected one. We also projected our land use, remember, which was called use, and the other one was our railway. So we have railway. Okay, now we just add it, double click, close that, and let's just have a look. Holiday resort, railway, and geology, road and boreholes are added. There you go. So that is how you ensure that all your data are in the same projection.